Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on the invisible network that actually builds our world. No, not the internet, not the stock market, but the actual physical stuff. The concrete, the power, the food that makes everything around us possible.
Seriously, just take a second and look around you. The glass in your window, the steel frame of your building, maybe even the coconut oil in your kitchen cabinet. None of it just appeared here. It all had to travel, sometimes thousands of miles, from a mine, a farm, or a factory. So how in the world does that journey actually happen?
Well, the answer lies with a very special kind of company that pretty much operates behind the scenes. And in this explainer, we're going to see exactly what it is they do. This quote, it comes from a company we'll be looking at called ZZEBTORZ, and it just nails it. They don't trade in abstract things like stocks or lines of code. They trade in the real-world materials that are the literal building blocks of our entire civilization.
The official term for what they are is a global trading partner. And you can think of them as the ultimate project managers for all the world's stuff. They're the ones who connect a seller in one country with a buyer in another. And then they handle all the incredibly complex, messy steps in between. So to really see how this all works in practice, we're going to follow the trail of one specific company that gives us a perfect window into this hidden world.
This is ZZEBTORZ, and their whole mission is built around a fascinating challenge. How do you take the chaotic, insanely complicated process of global shipping and somehow make it feel simple and even human?
Okay, so what exactly are we talking about here? What kind of stuff gets moved around the globe? For a company like ZZEBTORZ, their entire business rests on four key pillars.
You can see their business breaks down into four pretty much equally important categories, and they touch almost every part of modern life. We've got energy, heavy industry, petrochemicals, and agriculture. Let's start with energy. First up, the stuff that's literally powering our future. ZZEBTORZ plays a really key role in the renewable energy world by supplying the fundamental components you need for big solar projects. And this isn't just about shipping the finished panels you see on rooftops. Nope. They also move the very core components, the high-efficiency solar cells themselves. These are the critical little pieces you need to build everything from a single system on a house to a massive solar farm that can power a whole city.
Next, Pillar 2. We've got the raw materials for construction and manufacturing. This is the heavy-duty stuff that literally builds our infrastructure from the ground up.
We're talking about the absolute essentials here. Structural steel for skyscrapers, high-strength cement for solid foundations, pure zinc that stops rust and corrosion in its tracks, and lightweight aluminum for things like cars and airplanes. You know, without a steady, reliable flow of these materials, modern construction just stops.
The third pillar is petrochemicals. Now that might sound a little obscure, but trust me, these are essential fluids that keep the gears of global industry turning smoothly. Specifically, they trade in things called base oils. These are basically the foundational ingredients for high-performance lubricants and industrial greases. Every car engine, every factory machine, it relies on these fluids to function without seizing up.
And finally, the fourth pillar. This is the one that connects global trade directly to our kitchens and our daily lives. Agricultural commodities.
And the diversity here is just amazing. They move everything from farm-fresh onions and whole coconuts straight from the tree to processed goods like copra, which is just dried coconut kernel, and pure, cold-pressed coconut oil. These are the ingredients that end up in kitchens, cosmetics, and health products all over the world.
So we've seen what they move. But here's the thing. Shipping solar panels and coconuts around the world isn't just about loading a container, right? It's really about a promise. So how do they make sure everything actually gets where it needs to be, safely and on time?
Well, they operate on a pretty simple three-part philosophy. First, clarity. Total transparency, clear communication, so everyone knows what's going on. Second, consistency, making sure that delivery is always reliable, on time. And third, commitment. They focus on building long-term trust, not just on making a single sale. That's really their formula for success.
And this right here, this is the crucial distinction. See, what they do is export goods. That's the simple part. But how they do it, that's the real work. The real value is in managing all the chaos. We're talking mountains of paperwork, navigating customs in dozens of countries,
and ensuring everything is sourced ethically. That complex service is what separates a true trading partner from just a simple delivery service.
Okay, so let's connect all these dots. Because when you put it all together, you can really start to see how a single company helps power entire global industries.
You can see the direct line right here. Solar cells, boom, that becomes renewable energy. Steel and cement, that becomes new infrastructure. Those base oils, they keep factories running. And coconuts, well, they become food and wellness products. Each product is a critical link in a much, much larger chain.
So here's the big takeaway. The crucial point is this. Companies like ZZEBTORZ are the hidden engines of the global economy. They bridge that massive gap between a producer who has something to sell and a company that desperately needs it, no matter where they are in the world. And that's what makes progress on a global scale even possible.
Which really just leaves us with one final thought, doesn't it? In a global system that is this complex, this full of ships and regulations and paperwork, what is the real value of a simple human promise? Turns out that in the end, reliability might just be the most valuable commodity of all. Thanks for watching The Explainer.